Everybody, how you all doing? Once again, it's your favorite guy, Ron. Yeah, I'm back. Doing the morning stream once again. Hopefully, you guys can all join us and chat with us and tell us what's going on. And, hopefully, we can all have some fun and just chat and talk about 3D printing again. So it's great to be back online and great to talk to all you once again. So we have one new subscriber, but I'm wondering what my numbers are showing right now. According to the Power of Social Blade, we are sitting at still 295. We lost 3 subscribers in the last week. Oh well, whatever. It is what it is. It's YouTube. Nope, we're up 297. And my mistake. We've gone back up again. So that's good. I just like to give you guys an update of what our numbers look like because I haven't hit that thousand mark yet, and I do want to hit that 1,000 mark whenever that is and start making YouTube money. I know it's like 10 cents, but still, 10 cents is 10 cents. Within a month, I'll have enough to buy potato chips, I guess. So as we wait for everybody to get in, I'll explain to you what's been happening. So changes, not much to talk about. Just been busy printing, and more printing. Been doing maker coins like constantly. Do have to go over to my printer and start another print. This is a print I had done I guess last night. Right now, if you're under no idea what I'm doing, I'm trimming out the coins here because I have like wisps that kind of formed. Just a track of the filament and everything else. I need to get a new nozzle for the printer now. The printer is starting to show its nozzle wear. Usually I find within a year you got to replace the nozzles in a printer. It's not like a necessary thing. I just recommend it. Like if you've had your printer for 6 months, if you've been printing a lot on it, look at the quality. If you're starting to get a little bit of stringing, a little bit of weirdness in your prints, time to change the nozzles. So I got a couple of spare nozzles here. I'll be going over how I change my nozzle in another video. Yeah. I don't think I've actually covered nozzle changes yet. So I will cover that and show you guys how I change my nozzles and from there. Okay, so I only need to print 3 more. And I have enough for probably one of the maker fairs I'm going to. So want to have a whole bunch of coins available. So I hand them out. Now, if I do set up a booth there, then I'm going to have to print out even more of these. I'll print out a couple baggies full of these and just have them. Good morning to the one person who is watching us. Thanks for coming in. So I'm going to start up the printer here. It's just fired up now. I can hear it humming away. So I got to go change the filament. I'll be right back. But, chat away. I'll see the chats and I'll be replying to you guys right away. It's just the fun of printing. You got to go over there. You got to change your filament, change out your printers. I'll find enjoy of 3D printing. Okay. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Had to go change and had to go fix my nozzle. Now it's not a screen trick. It's just I was getting nozzle working. So hi to everybody that's there. So we got 3D printing Viking. We got Craig and his Ben. We all know him, Ben. We got Jake from State Farm. I know your real name. I'm not going to say it on here just for fun. We got the Edge of Tech. Hi, Jim. How's it going? And we got Zimmy. Yeah, nice talking to a chair. I know. Sorry, guys. I had a printer that I had some people already chatting. Were already popping on, popping off. So I figured I'd take the time just to change up the filament, run the new filament through the printer, so I can print more of these babies, these maker coins. Yes. So good morning to you all. And yeah, so that's the maker coin right there. Just working on the final, printing a final batch. I'm printing so far in the bag. I think I have 12 in a bag at the bottom here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12. So I'm printing out 24 of them. That should be more than enough, I would think. But if I need to get, if I need to print out more, I will. Yeah, I wish I could go to Earth, guys. I really do, but not this year. Edge Tech is pretty simple. I used, believe it or not, the first maker coin which was this coin here. It was designed for one color only, and I designed it for red. Let me go into my PLA box here of coins. Yeah, I store all my coins in a PLA box. Let's see, where's the original? There's the remaster that John Mack printed out, which turned out pretty good. So I kept it in the bag. But I like John Mack's idea, and I was like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me, John Mack! That's an amazing idea." I guess he got inspired by my video that I was doing it because I was going to do it with a 2.2 nozzle. Never did. This is the original maker coin right there. Right in the front, it says CMP on the front. But I never done multicolor prints. So I was going to use this as maybe a master. I was going to rework it out and turn it into a type of stencil so I could, do wax or something else, be different, but never got around to that. I said mostly maker coins are made out of plastic from the printer. It's always been a thing, but it's pretty thin too. These are great for, just the first batch of maker coins I ever made. They take a few seconds to print and they come out beautifully. But John Mack took it one step farther. He printed a dual color coin. Now, the original CMP coin was going to have written around it Canadian Maker Project, but it never turned out right. So I was going to use a 0.2 nozzle for that, but it never got around to that. But John Mack figured out how to do it with a 0.4 and then sent me it with the writing on the side, made it a little thicker so it would show up. And I actually fell in love with that idea of having the dual color. I was talking, I think John heard me one day saying, it'd be nice if I could do dual color with this, but I can't. And we have a guest on right now. So let me get to him right away. Hello, Colin. How are you doing this morning?
Pretty good. I think I have finished all of the parts printing for my printer.
Nice. That one print that you were showing didn't look that great, though.
No, that's the one crap print that I did. That was just what I had on the plate at that moment when I saw your thing. No, that other one, that's the back half of the electronics case. And as a large print with a large surface area in contact with the build plate, there's just lots of opportunity for warping. Looking at this, it's not too bad. There's a little bit of elephant's foot down here, maybe a little bit. Probably usable. I mean, it seems reasonable. Don't know what the hell's going on here, though. Have you seen anything like? Is that the actual design?
It might be.
It would have to be. I mean, this thing was printed like this. How would that bulge have come out if it wasn't actually part of the design? I mean, that's not a printing failure that I've ever seen before.
Have you looked at the original piece to see if it bulges out also?
Oh, let me see if I've got the model. No, I don't have the model up here. Let's grab the model. Well, the original piece is here, and I can't see where the bulge would be. It's but
could be a leaky nozzle.
It could be, but it seems like a very precise leak.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it up in Slicer here. Let's see what we got.
You can always sand it down if you need to.
Oh, sure, it's not a problem, but it's a weird thing to have happen.
NCX, yeah. Good morning to you too. Sorry, I didn't say good morning there. I was letting Colin finish what he needed to say.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Yeah, so Edutech needs to make a maker coin. I was just saying the easiest way to make the maker coin I found was through Microsoft Builder. to take your 2D image and make it a 3D image. Take that image out of there, save it as STL, throw it into whatever you're good with. Take your CAD or say you're excellent with Fusion, throw it in there and just start making your coin out. And you have a stencil of your logo and of your whole logo right then there, and you can work with that.
I haven't used 3D Builder. I mean, I primarily because I'm not a Windows fan, but you can accomplish the same thing with something like Inkscape. If you two are not a Microsoft
I
shill.
thought you couldn't do. I thought Inkspace didn't allow you to extrude. I thought it's only a 2D
No,
platform.
but you'll get your 2D design and you can import it into virtually anything. You can import it into all you really need is a vector graphic essentially. Once you've
Yeah, that's
got
true
your
too.
vector graphic, you can. What the hell?
That's interesting. You can what the hell?
Yeah, this was sitting over here. Okay, it must have launched off the bed when I did something else. All right. Yeah, so all you're really looking for there is to get a vector graphic. So once you can convert a raster graphic into a vector graphic with something like Inkscape or 3D Builder or Corel, one of the Corel Draw software, one of the items in one of the package, one of the programs in the Corel Draw package will do that for you as well. I forget which one.
Good morning, Rover. Thanks for making it, buddy.
But that's all you're really looking to accomplish with 3D Builder from the way you've described it. You're just grabbing a vector graphic. Is that the idea?
Yeah, well, it uses a vector graphic, but I think it's an SFX or something like that.
I don't know that format particularly, but I mean you would normally do it in a a DWG or something like that.
Let me see which one it used. I think it was
it's entirely possible. It's just another vector graphic format. Let's see.
Let me see here. I should have the graphics stayed here. No, I do not. Can't pull it up, unfortunately. Yeah, SVG. Thank you so much, Mr. Button.
SVG, right. DWG, SVG, right. Yeah, DWG is, I think, Photoshop's format for.
Yeah, then there was
2D stuff.
V something, VI, and I know that's more of a Linux thing.
I don't know
And
that
good
one either.
morning to Mike. Never let the machines win.
Right. So we're gonna look at
You're going to pull
the
up your file.
model,
And have a look
right?
at it,
Okay.
yeah.
So STL. What is this? This is.
So Ryan, how'd you get that to stick? By the way,
X idler.
Ah. You didn't oversleep, Robbie Mac. I started at 10 a.m. now.
Nope, that's in the design.
Oh, okay.
I shall show you. For I can. It's right there.
Really? I'm not seeing. You gotta share your screen. Remember?
Oh, is it not being shared correctly? Oh, because I'm sharing it through Wirecast, and the new version of Chrome does not recognize the Wirecast virtual camera.
Ah.
Where's the right window? Right. So I got to share the screen through this thing. Okay. Actually, the easier way to do this is cancel and application window. Here we go. So yeah, it's apparently part of the design.
Okay,
And this
let me
is
show
the
your
R.
screen.
This is it not sharing?
I had to turn it on. Now
Oh,
we can see it.
okay. Um, so yeah, apparently that's part of the R3 part design. It bulges out for some reason.
That's interesting. What? Maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe it makes a better fit.
Um,
Oops.
yeah, but how? In what way does that make it better?
Could be just the way they got it set up.
So it's a bolt that's effectively the idler rod. It doesn't look like. Oh, okay. Because it's printed horizontally. Because it's not printed this way.
Well, they print it
Um,
straight up, and I think the reason that you do
right.
that is, I think that little bulge that sticks out, maybe with the new MKS or MK3S, it makes use of that bulge to line it up better when you're building parts together.
No,
Who
I
knows?
see. I see what it is.
Oh,
This wall is this side is relatively thin, and you
okay.
have to have an indentation to hold the captive nut here. So what they
Ah,
did was they bulged it out to accommodate that nut rather than a very
countersink it.
thin interior countersunk wall. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
Well, that
idea.
makes sense.
Yeah,
So, NCX Tech, I believe he was asking me, how are we doing this? Well, we're using a program called let me just pull it up
StreamYard.
here. StreamYard. There's the link if you oh no, that's Streamlabs. Sorry, wrong one. Where's our StreamYard link? There it is, StreamYard. So you go to that link that allows you to download the program and give it a shot. It is, I'd say, a better version of Hangouts. Basically, the person that's hosting it, which is me, I have full control of all the screens. I can make it do whatever I want it to do. I can make it post up information, anything like that. And if you're interested in streaming, actually, I think that's the wrong one I wanted to
It's
use.
like if
I think it's this
Hangouts
one.
was
Yeah, there it
designed
is.
by it's like if Hangouts was designed by a video editing guy instead of a conferencing guy.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I had the wrong one popped up there. But that's the, if you want to give it a shot, go streamer.com/reference and then punch in that number. And then it'll take you right to StreamYard's download page where you can sign up and give the app a try. All that
Okay,
good stuff.
so you don't like my uh, electronics case. Let us critique the other parts.
Oh no.
I don't. This is not a good way of doing it. All right, let's see. Now I'm not. This is one of the earlier parts. Well, that one's not too bad. There's a little bit of a. It peeled up a little bit on this corner. I don't think that's going to be a problem. This one was printed at the same time, did not peel up, but it's got a couple of burrs that I need to file off. I just realized that I printed this the wrong way around. I printed this in the wrong orientation this way when I should have been printing it this way, because the most important surface is the interior surface. But it works nonetheless. I actually ended up going with, if you look at the Prusa Bear uh, Y rod clamps,
Yep.
they don't look anything like this. I'm using the ones out of the AM8 reinforced build, which because I'm using the AM8 frame, which is shorter in the Y dimension than the Bear kit build.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Collins noticed I put that down on there. The banner. Judge Colin Prince.
Judge Collins Prince. Well, I think I said that. So
Yeah.
um,
So Ryan Mack has to, as he likes the brown. He thinks brown is the future.
Brown is the future. I thought brown was the 70s, but sure. Believe it or not, this is supposed to be uh, this filament uh, is the Hertz metallic rose. So it's only brown because I did six walls.
There you
I
go.
think,
What can brown do for Colin?
what can Brown do for Colin? Brown did a really shitty job of delivering my my food dehydrator yesterday.
Oh, you haven't received it yet?
I did receive it yesterday.
Ooh.
It was raining all afternoon. It was raining when they delivered it, and normally they put everything under on the front porch, which has a roof over it. What they and I have pictures of this that unfortunately I can't share. I should post them on Discord. They put it half in and half out underneath the roof. They could have taken one more step and pushed it towards the interior of the porch, and saved the box. But I don't know what they were thinking. They did a very piss poor job. The Z tops came out quite nicely. Can't complain about these at all.
So what did you use? So what did you
This
print?
is one of the later prints.
So which one were you using? Were you using like Hertz or
what? This filament? Oh, yes. This is all. This is the Hertz metallic rose PETG, provided very kindly by Alien 3D.
Well, Butcher would like to know: are you all out of your $50 PET G yet?
My $50 PET. That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah, he wants to know if you're out of it now.
No, not even close. I was concerned when I was printing the electronics case because I saw that initial layer 3 failure, but I was thinking I should have redone it. But the electronics case is where I'm concerned that I might run out of filament trying to get it right.
Ooh.
That is why I got that cheap carbon fiber PETG. It is in fact of such low quality that I'm not even inclined to attempt to do it.
You know, you could probably just go to the library and ask them to print it for you.
That would be admitting failure.
Pardon me?
That would be admitting failure.
It wouldn't be admitting failure. It would just be admitting that you're just not having the right adhesion for it to all connect.
Well, it would be admitting the fact that I don't have an enclosure for the printer, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. We've got a makerspace here, but I've not been a member since ever, I don't think. And the X motor holder came out quite reasonably.
Rover, don't tell me you're going to collect it like Red Light collected printers for a little while.
So your library has
our library has a couple printers as two printers. We have they're Cubictrons. They use their own software, which is horrible, but it does have like a lot of nice little options to it. But yeah, that's what we use at the library. So Yeah, I didn't get the job there, unfortunately, so I'm kind of a little disappointed because that job would have been perfect. I had Wednesdays and Thursdays off.
Managing their
Print farm,
tech,
the
print
printers, yeah.
farm or technology overall. Just the print farm.
Printers, laser cutter, sewing machines, Cricut, all that good stuff.
So they have a full blown makerspace. That's cool.
Yeah. I've been meaning there because like I go and use their Cricut because it has a vinyl because they have vinyl for it, and there are some stuff I like to print on vinyl for something I'm building, like this here.
Yeah, I didn't really get into this stuff back when vinyl cutters were the thing.
Yeah, like this right here is going to go out to a friend who does a lot of video game play on Twitch. So he's going to end up something with it like this one. I'm not going to do it in this orange. This orange was just for testing and for me to play with. But I'm thinking of doing it in black and using some blue filament I have kicking around to embed his logo on in the front here. And I'll just have it embrace the logo, like so I can actually punch it in, and push it in.
Yeah.
Do it on the same printer, then that way I know it's going to fit properly. And then take that logo and then find the color of vinyl I like that looks like that and just label it like A, B, C, D, E, F, and then start and select up here, which I colored them different buttons for that. And send that off to him, and he's just going to be because I said once he's ready to go gaming again, I would definitely build him one of these, and I think he'll actually have a lot of fun using this on stream. For all the arcade games, that style.
Yeah.
You love the orange liking? That is that orange is actually Color Fab's PLA or PHA. That's listed two ways here. Yeah, it's Color Fab's orange, Dutch orange. I love the color of this. There's not a lot of things I print with this color. But as you can see, I'm getting really low on it, and hopefully once I can get rid of this roll, I'll buy another. I might buy another roll. I haven't decided yet because I had so many headaches with this stuff halfway through it. I'm not seem to be the only person that has issues with Color Fab. There's been a lot of other people saying the same bloody damn thing. It seems like halfway, as soon as you get through the halfway mark, the stuff becomes brittle, or B, it becomes a nuisance to print with because it does tangle up. I've heard from many people saying, yeah, as soon as you get halfway through the roll, I find a tang. I'll find it like has overlapped a couple rounds or whatever. And I'm not the only one that's ran into this. But a few other printers have said this. I remember I wrote to them about the question about it, and they said, "Oh, that can't be happening at our factory. Our factory is this, this, this." I'm like going, "Yeah, but someone has to take it off the spool system and put it into the box. Is something happening there? They're not. Maybe someone's forgetting to tack it on with tape, or maybe they've let go of it after the spool has been completed and haven't put it together properly." But then they never respond back after I asked them those questions. So they basically, the customer service is not the greatest, and really disappointed with them because I was hoping to get, yeah, this couldn't happen, sorry about the situation, blah, blah, blah. No, I didn't even get that. I didn't get, sorry about that. Sometimes these things can happen. Sorry that you ran into that. No, their line was, no, it can't happen in our factory.
Yeah, I got a roll of PETG a while back from Maker Geeks, which is apparently notorious for bad customer service.
Yeah.
It arrived with a punctured but clearly what would have been a vacuum sealed bag, or in a what would have been a vacuum sealed bag, but that had been punctured somewhere along the line. And so I wrote him. I said, "Look, I don't know when this thing was damaged, either in shipping or in storage at Amazon or wherever, but the PETG needs to be dry, and this is not going to be dry if I try to print with it. So I'm sending it back. This is before yesterday when I acquired something that I could actually dry the filament with. So they said, "Oh no, PETG is fine. It can last up to 15 months outside of a dry box." Sure, right.
Yeah. Well, their line to me was, "Oh, that was my fault." Also, is what they said in the email.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's always the customer's fault.
Yeah. It's like just tells you how much of a company that is willing to say, "Oh, that's your fault.
Yeah,
We don't have any problems at our end."
yeah.
Not saying, "Hey, sorry that this has happened to you. Thanks for letting us know. Unfortunately, we can't replace it, but here's what we can do for you." Just be nice
Apple
about
tried
it.
that with me recently too.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of companies that you'd think would have better customer service, but yeah, I tried to get uh, a power supply replaced that had frayed. One of the uh, uh, Maglock 2 ones that over which there was a class action lawsuit that was settled. Apple replaced a bunch of power supplies but didn't notify any of the class members.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
That was in 2014. Well, I bought my machine in 2012, and I had been in and out of the store a bunch of times. And I said, "Look, this is a problem. What's going on?" They said, "Oh, we're not replacing those." Okay. Apparently, there was a website up where class members could file to get a replacement, but they didn't notify anyone. Notification, believe it or not, and I checked into this a little bit, notification is a requirement for class certification. So I'm
Yeah.
going to see what goes on there. Anyway, um, while we're judging bad filament, check this out. This is supposed to be carbon fiber PETG. I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but it's gray, not black.
Yeah. When
So
you said black, I'm looking at it, I'm like, it looks awfully
yeah,
not black.
this is supposed to be carbon fiber PETG. Um, it neither looks like carbon fiber
Have you tried to
nor
break it like they show in the Formlabs commercial?
is that the Formlabs commercial?
Yeah.
I thought that was Markforged that was doing that.
Maybe it's Markforged, I guess.
It's Markforged, but they're doing it with parts that have the full fiber infill, the full embedded strands.
Yeah.
Um, I referred someone asked me about that the other day. I ended up referring them to Tom Sandlatter's video where he had one of those machines on site and was testing it. It's neat stuff, but those machines cost like 15 grand, I think.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
just
So
make me
anyway,
laugh when they say, "Oh, it's easy to break a 3D print." Yeah, if you put in only 4%, if you put in 10% infill, if you put in 25 to 50%, almost impossible. Those things are hard to break.
so this is has 6 walls and 20% infill. So let's see how we do if we try to break it.
Form
Because,
yards.
well, I'm not using this part. I'm going to reprint these in ABS because the rest of the extruder is printed in ABS. So might as well just stick with that.
You got a hot box to put it in?
No, I just closed the door in the room and let it heat up.
Okay, because
It's a small room.
all right. I just think to myself, if I'm going to print in ABS, I'm going to have an enclosure around my printer because I do not want to smell it, nor do I want to, have any of the vapors get out. So I think in the next 6 months, I'm going to build a box to put my printer into if I'm going to do any ABS prints.
I should do that, but I haven't as yet. What I ended up doing is I print ABS in the summer. I open the window, have a fan going out the window, and close the door. And once it's done printing, the the fumes dissipate in 20 minutes. You get enough circulation. It's not too bad. But yeah, I wouldn't do that in a room that's open to the rest of the house. I wouldn't do that. Who was it that was putting ABS in their bedroom like 3 or 4 years ago? This was something that showed up on Twitter, and I think.
Are you sure it wasn't Mike that was talking about printing ABS in his bedroom?
I'm not sure who it was, but I remember reading it on Twitter, and I remember that not Devin. Devin is Make Anything. Who's
Helps the builder. I love
the
Jake's
other
line
guy?
here.
I can't remember who it was. Somebody was commenting on it in a video somewhere along the line. Anyway, all right. So I'm going to reprint these. So let's see if we can break our supposed carbon fiber PETG. Had I gone and looked more deeply into the ratings on Amazon for this thing, I would have probably not bought it. But what do we want to do here? I need a bigger wrench.
So according to Jake, the vapors are good for you. It helps build your immune system.
Sure. You must be a tank now. I guess I should do it this way. Easier to break if I do it this way.
Here's what you really need to print with here. This is ABS professional grade trim line for your for doing
line. Oh,
for printing
for weed whackers.
Weed whacker trimming. Yep. That's what you need to be
somebody
printing.
Somebody was using that as replacement line for the support filament that gets installed back from the extruder back to the electronics box in the Prusa. They have some a 3mm nylon filament or 2.85 nylon filament piece that runs in there to support things. Somebody decided that weed whacker filament would be a good replacement for that. It seems like a good idea, actually.
It does, but
I mean, not the ABS version, but a nylon weed whacker filament. All right, here we go. Let's see how this goes.
Well, I heard something snap.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it snapped.
It's a goner.
Hey, that took a lot of strength out of you, though.
No, it didn't take a lot of strength. It bent a lot. It took an incredible amount. Look at how, I mean, it bent to a 90-degree angle and it didn't break on this other.
Huh.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's strength of carbon fiber right there.
I don't know about that. I think the point that I was trying to make is that this carbon fiber it's not clear what percentage of carbon fiber it is, but I think it's more carbon fiber dust than chopped fibers or something even remotely reasonable. It's interesting though. So I got to reprint those. That's not going to be a problem, but I'm not doing it while I'm sitting here. That's for damn sure.
So apparently, Mr. Budrum said it was a bad idea to print with weed whacker because it's actually very toxic, and I agree with him on that one. I would
imagine,
a joke.
Weed whacker ABS, yes, I avoid ABS as much as I possibly can, but this is one of those cases where it's needed.
Well, actually, PETG has been said to be as good as ABS.
Well, that's why Prusa prints with it now. All the Prusa parts are all PETG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any black PETG though. So.
Oh well, I do.
And the other
Actually, I got a whole roll of it right here.
So the one part of this new build that I'm reusing from the existing build is the extruder assembly, which is ABS, which is why I have no problem printing the back half of the extruder assembly in ABS as well. So let me see if I can.
Well, maybe we can get you to print that board one more time, because it seems like the rest of the pieces came out okay. So
they did, yeah, and I will, but it's the least important in my book, and I am probably going to dry this filament out now that I have a filament dryer. I'm going to dry this thing out a little bit more before I try again.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But my objective for today was to start the mechanical build. So let's see if we can do some of that. First, we need to...
Colin, if you're ever looking for a way to dry out your or keep your filament dry, as long as you keep them in Ziploc bags like these, you should be okay. But
no, I've got a dry box.
If you use, but if you need to store it anywhere and you've got nowhere to store it, I'll show you a little trick I've done. I printed out these little prints right here. What these are for is you put your silicone in it, and then you just throw it in your dry box.
Yeah. So actually,
and you can dry this stuff too.
So an observant viewer, observant viewer will notice that all of my my reusable silica gel that I've got at the bottom of my dry box here is all blue.
Really? You just went all
right out my silica gel. What?
You just went all
no,
funny
I dried out all...
a single word you said.
Oh. So an observant viewer will notice an observant viewer. Wow, I can't talk today. An observant viewer will notice that all of my silica gel, reusable silica gel, is now blue again here in the bottom of the dry box.
Ah, okay.
This is because that was the first thing I dried out with my dehydrator.
Nice.
It worked like a champ.
Yeah, my silica gel is orange.
So there is silica gel that comes and meant to be orange that changes to white or something. This is blue that changes to orange. So blue is the dry color.
Yeah.
But yeah, it comes in a number of varieties.
Yeah, my silica gel dries out to, I believe it is, dries back up to orange, but when it's wet, it turns blue or green. That right now is a dark blue. It's almost turning green, so soon I gotta recharge those. But yeah,
I don't know why they do. They sell gel, silica gel that works in one color range, and then somebody else decided that, oh, we're going to market something that works in exactly the opposite color scheme. Seems like a bad plan.
Yeah, just a little.
Wording is hard. Yes, words are difficult, but I have all the best words, as our very refined president says.
I thought you'd say you speak gooder English than most people. I figure would be the best way.
Well, I come here to get my learn on and learn from the Canadians about how to speak them to English. But
yes, us Canadians, we have our own style of language. I mean, we actually say about, well, you guys just say about.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how that works?
Well, let's put it this way. What is it? How we was it about? Yeah, we go about, and I've heard some Americans go about as a boot. I've heard that many times.
The reason did you not realize this? Are you making a joke?
I am making a joke.
Okay, just checking, because I was going to say, yes, you've listened to Americans mock you and decided that they are worthy of mocking. All right.
Yeah, orange to green is more non-toxic. Blue to blue is very toxic. Really?
Really? That's good to know.
Interesting.
The blue is more toxic. What is that based on?
I don't know, but Zimmy says the orange to green is more non-toxic, but blue is very toxic.
Huh. When I was looking at this stuff, I was looking at the stuff at
Yes, he says.
the most absorbent materials, and it came up with the blue to orange, blue to pink, or whatever it is, and the ones that were most reusable or good for the most reuses. So I may have ended up with the more toxic stuff. That wasn't a criteria when I was picking. Well, that'll just eliminate oxygen. That will not eliminate
Moisture.
water,
I know.
moisture. That's entertaining in a Terminator sense.
Oh, that's why. Blue uses cobalt.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that I should not handle it and spread it across my dehydrator um, when I was doing that. Okay, that's good to know.
And you might not want to be using that dehydrator ever again for drying out your meats anytime soon.
Yeah, well, that wasn't really my plan. I am not a no. I am a beef jerky kind of guy, but I'm not a homemade jerky kind of guy.
You like to buy it from the store, right?
I
Already prepared and everything
I
else.
like to find it lying in the woods, already dried.
Ugh.
You like to buy it from a store. What are my other options?
Well, you might have a butcher you buy it from. I don't know.
I don't know. I've not met a butcher who makes beef jerky, but I imagine there must be some out there.
Oh, there's tons of people out there that make beef jerky.
No, there are, but I've never met a butcher that makes beef jerky.
I met about 3.
Huh. Wow. Okay. Because
Oh,
usually it's like
well,
a hobbyist kind of thing. 'Cause it's a relatively easy product to make and package. There are actually companies that specialize in uh, making your recipe. They're like co-packers, commercial kitchens that specialize in beef jerky. So they'll take your recipe for beef jerky, and I want
no, because the butcher I go to is actually he runs his own butcher shop, so he gets like deer and all those other meats that people will bring in, and
yeah,
he sends them off to a place where they produce it, where they can turn it to jerky
yeah,
on a customer order basis. So, and then he sold his company to another guy who started doing the same thing, and then sold it to another guy who started doing the same thing. And I just lost track of the guy. I didn't talk to the new owner who owns the place because he kind of they moved and I lost track of where they moved to. But I used to get deer from them all the time. You kill a deer, you send it off to them, they send it off to get tested to make sure there's nothing wrong with it. They chop off the head, they'll chop it up into pieces and store it for you. And then once you get the approval that's fresh and it's okay, you'll take out the meat out of the freezer, hand it to you, all frozen, air packed, the whole 9 yards, marked on it, A certified, the whole 9 yards, and give it to you and say, "Here's your meat." And it's like, great, thanks. I pay like about maybe 20 to $30 to get it all done, but all I have to do is bring in the whole dead carcass and he'll do it. He'll carve it up for me. No cleaning
cool.
required. Robbie Mac lost his internet, but he found it again.
That's good. Where was it hiding?
I don't know. I wish he would tell me.
Yes, I mean,
It was hiding under his bed or something. Maybe got
well, I know
scared.
you always find it in the last place you look, but that doesn't tell us where it was actually hiding.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was hiding. I think he just lost it. Like dropped it and then he picked it up again.
No, he said he found it.
Oh, that's true. No, he said he lost it and then he found it again.
Yes.
So it wasn't hiding like you were suggesting.
When things get lost, they're always hiding. There's always never. What is the skeptic's rule? Never attribute something to incompetence when you can attribute it to malevolence. Oh wait, no, that's the conspiracy theorist rule.
Oh.
Anyway, when I lose my internet, I blame the internet, and I know that the internet is out to get me.
Yeah. Well, just let you guys know that when I use my orange stuff, I don't wear gloves, but now I'm going to start wearing gloves when I start filling my containers. I'm also going to start. I always wash my hands after I fill up one of my little jugs of silica gel. So
Do you have the model for that silica gel container that you were using?
Yeah, I do. Hang on. Yeah, I got to change my filament. I'll be back.
Oop.
Effort to put red in my printer.
There are actually some neat models out there of silica gel containers that are meant to fit, for example, in the kind of dry box, the rectangular style dry box that I've got here. I never bothered. I just figured leave it at the bottom of the dry box. It doesn't make much of a difference. Um, and in my case, I was more concerned about the height uh, of any gel container uh, because I wanted to get the smallest box I could possibly get. And to address Ron's earlier point of how do you store your filament, I simply don't buy more PETG than I can fit into my dry box. But I'm more likely to go buy and set up a new dry box than I am to store filament in a Ziploc bag. I guess Ziploc bags might be more effective, but these airtight boxes, they're airtight, so they work quite nicely. All right, so here we're going to cool down and perform a cold pull. Took me a while to get comfortable with cold pulls on Prusa's because it requires you to unscrew the thing in order to release the tension on the gearing, rather than just like pushing a lever, which is inherently more convenient. But it works nonetheless. So now we wait. And I can't see comments because I didn't think ahead and actually pop out the YouTube chat. Yeah, well. Am I going to? No, I'm not going to be able to go open up YouTube and do this in the time that and catch this thing before it cools down too much. So let us do it in the other order. I can't really read that anyway. Why does it always default to top chat instead of live? There we go. Edge of Tech. Wait, it's always a good idea.
So that's it right there. That's the one I use.
Oh, came when I whistled. That's well-behaved internet. This was not smart. Letting this filament sit on the heat bed, even at 70 degrees, it was not happy.
Yeah. So this is what. So that's the silica gel container that I was talking about.
Yep. Okay.
So if people are interested in downloading it, it is actually, you know what? I'm going to make that even simpler.
All right.
So that is thingiverse.com/thing number 2560068. And it's really simple to print. I print that at 0.1 mil. So I print it at a 0.1 layer height, and it prints in less than an hour.
At 0.1, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is the mesh that fine that you need to print it at 0.1?
I find it turned out better than 0.2.
Yeah.
Especially with the screw-on cap. So.
And what? I guess you wouldn't want to print it of a hygroscopic material itself. So what, you print it out of PLA, I guess.
You can print out a PLA or a PETG, really.
Yeah.
And it's great. I've used them all the time, and I've had no problem. Now, this is a newer version. I have his old version, which is 0.1. So, but
Yeah, I think I looked at his older version, and then I went looking for a rectangular one. I think I found one, but it was a little bit too large for the container. It would interfere with the placement of the filament spools. So, and I didn't want to have just little containers just strewn around the bottom of the.
Yeah, as you can see, like this one used to be the other one I used to print all the time. This one that I'm showing right now, but the second one is probably what's going to become part of my print icon all the time.
Yeah,
because I like just it being round and simple and easy to pop in. Now, this is probably what you were looking for.
Yes, I think I found that design or something similar. And what I was hoping to do was come up with a design that fit precisely the depth of not the depth. Yeah, the depth of the container. I guess that's the height. It's not the height. Yeah, the depth of the container, and fit along and was like a half an inch wide. So so you could actually line it up against the side of the container and not have it interfere with the filament rolls.
Yeah.
Um, I never quite got back to that, and I think someone talked about a design like that in one of the comments on a design more like what you're looking at there. But I don't think anybody actually went out and did it. So I figured I'd have to do it, and I never got around to it.
Yeah, well, there it is right there. So,
Yeah,
and it was printed on a Peugeot. So,
yeah. But you see what I'm getting at, right? You want
yeah.
one
I printed these
that
ones.
form fits the dry box rather than
Now, I've
just.
also taken a shot at printing these, and these print out really well. The only problem with these is that hinge. If you're not printing it exactly correct, it won't work half the time.
Is that a print in place hinge?
Yes, it is.
Ah, yes. Well, so precision matters. Yeah.
And that's when you got to do like 0.1, and it's like, yeah,
I don't know if
scratches the head a little, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I've had them work and I've had them not work. So,
well, I
by the way, Joe's asking, wasn't your Peugeot card revoked?
uh well, you know, I I didn't well, I was going to do an I shot the sheriff joke, but I won't. Um uh the walk I won, I don't know. Anyway, someone tried to
Yeah,
revoke my card, but they failed.
uh Hey, EduTech, Jim, just out of curiosity, what happened to your Monday show? I didn't see it this week. Now you're doing a show every Monday, community something.
All right. How is this going to work here? If I close the computer, is it going to drop my connection? Probably not. All right. Need to dry out my ABS first.
Yeah, community showcase. How's that coming along? I think you should have Colin on your show.
Oh yeah. I'm all about showcase prints, as you may have noticed. Let's see if I can do this in a semi-orderly fashion.
Yeah, I know he wants me to come on his show. I just feel chicken. I'm just chicken. I just have a feeling everybody that's going to watch me is just going to go, yeah, I'm not going to watch that guy no more.
I don't know. I can shoot
all
the
his
shit with the
customers
best of them, but I don't know. That goes in here.
You know who would be cool to get on if you can get him? Would be probably if you contacted Joe Telling. He'll probably come on for sure. I would also try let me look in my bin of business cards. I have a couple designers I talked to at Murph, which may be some good contacts for you to contact. And they do have YouTube channels. So let me look around. Let me see if I can find those business cards, and I'll see if I can find that guy. Maybe I can even get you Luke which is that guy that came up with the printer that's made it out of CD-ROM drives. If you want to talk to Luke, I can get you in contact with him too. Luke Cunningham is his name.
He did a printer out of CD-ROM drives? How did I miss that?
Well, didn't you watch the video I posted of it?
Apparently not. When was this?
Go back and watch our video from Murph. I think it's the video number 1 on the video list.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I sort of burned out on Murph videos after like video number 4. But so that's probably why I didn't see it. But I will definitely check it out.
Yeah. Playlists. Murph 2019.
All right, let's see. How am I going to do this? Do we care about looking at another dehydrator? I mean, I guess everyone did these in like 2017, 2018. Not that exciting, right?
Yeah, I love that. Look was a cool kid, huh, Zimmy? I know what you mean, Zimmy. Don't worry. It's just we all pick on everybody, stupid auto wrongs, likes to change names and everything else. Happens to me constantly.
All right, let's see. I guess I gotta. I don't know if this is going to cause an echo or not. I'm going to pull my head. Do we have an echo at all?
No. Okay.
Okay, cool. Then maybe I don't need to worry about these. So much for these.
So, yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, Luke is an interesting kid. I mean, the guy comes up with great ideas. And next year, I think at Murph, I'm going to contact him. I'm going to contact everybody that wants. Hey, Vince just made it in the room.
Hey, Vince. How's it going?
You may not be last, Vince, but you're definitely not late. I'll give you that. You just missed the first half of us telling Colin that he should sell his Prusa to me. After all, he basically has had his card revoked.
I lost my Prusa card, yeah. All right, now we go get the printer that we're going to upgrade.
Ooh.
Oh, have you not seen this?
No, you haven't showed it off.
Well, weren't you at Earth last year?
I was at Earth, but I didn't know you last year.
How could you not know me? The hell's wrong with you, man?
I didn't know who you were.
Doesn't matter.
We never talked.
I was the dude there with the blue printer.
I was the dude with the CR10 that wouldn't print.
I remember that.
Yeah, but everybody was having printer problems at that show.
Yeah, well, yeah. So this was my solution. I designed this specifically for Earth. What am I sitting on here? I'm balanced on something that's not supposed to be balanced on. There we go. And so I placed the controls at standing height.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I don't remember talking to you specifically.
Ah, okay. Well, you may have caught me at one of the very few moments that I was not at the desk.
No, you were there talking to other people.
Oh, okay.
I just was walking by. I think I caught you in one of my walkthroughs of Earth.
Like the recorded walkthrough, you mean?
No, my live walkthroughs.
Live walkthrough. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So what I did is I kind of hooked my phone into a carrying wand, and I would walk around, and I'd have it pan back and forth, just showing everything. Like John
Wow.
Mack goes, "Hey, look, it's you." Shows me the iPad with me videotaping. I'm like, oh, "Thanks, John Mack."
Hey, look, it's you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm horrible with names, so I do that all the time. Hey, Colin, how's it going? Oh, hey, you. It gets worse when you've met someone several times and you don't remember their name. You have to become expert at carrying on a lengthy conversation
Yeah.
without using the person's name.
Yeah, it's like when I first met Vince. It was like, "Hey, I know you. You're yeah,
Yeah.
you're a good friend of mine." That's all I know. Vince is probably going to hit me now.
So one of my great annoyances in this process is that uh, I'm going to have to slice off the fork connectors, the spade connector, this fork connector, the fork terminal connectors on the wires that from the heat bed, because the stupid SKR board has the
Oh,
non screw down terminals.
wait a minute. Are you turning that to an SKR board?
All right. So what's going to happen here is it's going to turn purple or brown, as some people call it. It's getting so
So it's going to look shitty.
so first it's going to turn maroon.
Okay, maroon. That sounds better. Yeah.
Right. Butler might think it's brown, but he's wrong.
Mm.
And I'm sure the guys at Hertz would agree that it's more maroon than brown, and I'm sure Josh would agree it's more maroon than brown.
It probably looks brown on video, but in real life, it looks more maroon.
No, it's really quite dark. I mean, these parts are really quite. But they're definitely not brown. They're definitely maroon. Anyway, so what's going on here is this was this was my ANET. Let's get my ANET. There's my ANET. These are all ANET parts. Every last thing in here is an ANET part.
Okay.
At Earth last year, I was using this assembly as my extruder assembly, right, which is a V6 mount, basically.
Yeah.
Motor up here, V6 here.
So you're putting a V6 on there?
A V6 is already on here. What I'm getting at is after Earth, almost immediately after Earth, I replaced that assembly with this extruder assembly, which should look very familiar to you. For it is a Prusa style extruder assembly. Right?
Well, Vince just told me I'm going to get hit with a maker coin in 2020.
So I did this, and it worked quite nicely. The design for, or the remix of the Prusa assembly plastic printed parts with the ANET spacing, which is like 11 millimeters instead of 15 millimeters versus 11 millimeters, I think. The spacing between these two rods is different than the Prusa, which I guess is whatever it is, by like 3 millimeters or something.
Yeah.
So in order to get a better tensioning system on onto this unit, I essentially need a better motor mount, Z motor, X motor mount, right? Which is this. And the way that tensioning system works on the Prusa is you run a screw through here, and you basically twist the motor in a non-centered way.
Okay.
was tightening the belt. This motor mount does not have that setup, and so I first thought about redesigning this motor mount, but couldn't get the source files in a format that would be useful. I don't want to have to do it out of step files. That sucks. So I ended up deciding that I'm going to go with this. In order to go with this, I have to change the spacing of the rods. In order to change the spacing of these rods, I need to replace the two back plates of the extruder assembly, one of which you saw printed out of the carbon fiber PETG. And if I'm going to do that, I also have to change the spacing of the rods as they relate to the X motor mount as well. So basically, I'm replacing the X and Z assemblies. So why not replace the Y assembly while I'm at it? For which I went out and bought a knockoff Mark 52 bed and related parts. So I think I might do that first. I'm trying to figure out how I want to go about this migration. I'm not 100% sure yet, actually. Anyone have thoughts on the order of operations here? Should I just tear this thing down completely, or replace things axis by axis, or what? Yes, it does what? Crap on.
Yes, and it craps on Prusa. It changes mortar center line.
Right. Yeah. The side-mounted X tensioner, like the ones that go over here, you mean? Over. The ones that sort of get inserted over here and provide the tension. I hate those. I find those just morally objectionable in some way.
Idler side, as he puts it.
Yeah, on the idler side. Those designs have been around for a long time, and I found them quite objectionable. I did when at the time that I built my ANET back in the ANET chassis, I came across this X tensioner, which is very cool. This design, I actually stopped my ANET build, printed out a version of this, and installed it before even attempting to fully construct my ANET for the first time. But as you can see, what it does is you're wrapping the belt around this moving component and tightening it with this screw, which drives the component.
And you like that a lot better, I guess, then.
I like that. I like that structure a lot, that mechanism a lot better. But I couldn't come up with a good way to do that on the Prusa extruder assembly. So I figured I would just adopt the standard Prusa methodology. Who was it that was saying that it changes the center line path alignment? Tom, yes, I think you're right, but I don't think it changes it enough to matter, because effectively changing the alignment of the x-axis is equivalent to changing it's compensated for in the bed bed alignment. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can articulate this better. The bed, all right, so you've got the bed level, which adjusts how the bed is laid out, right? you've got the X alignment. So imagine your X-axis is skewed by some ridiculous amount like this, because your motor, your belt is, screwy, right? It's skewed in this way. That would be equivalent to the bed being skewed this way. So all you have to do is compensate for that in the bed leveling, which is done automatically anyway. So I don't think it will have an impact. We don't like enough to matter. Okay. Is my explanation not making sense, or my logic not making sense?
I have no idea what to tell you. I watched the chat. They're
Julie
saying,
is convinced that no, and Joe doesn't
well,
like.
then you said no even before you started explaining it. So
What? Oh, they okay.
yeah, they said it just after Lemma said mine works smashingly, and you tried to explain it again. Then they said no, and then they said enough is to matter. So
Yeah, okay.
So what are you going to be changing? So let's talk about the obvious stuff. So everything that's blue is going to go to brown.
So parts are all changing just because I wanted them to be of consistent color, and I have done blue, so I figured I really wanted to use the Hertz blue, but didn't get a chance to do it back when I did the original build, and I went back, and Ryan was very helpful in out that Josh had some, but then like an idiot, I didn't buy it until I needed it, and when I needed it, it was out. So, so anyway, yeah. So the parts are effectively changing to all Prusa Bear parts, as opposed to ANET Bear parts, where these are the AM8 reinforced model, and we're going to the Prusa Bear printed parts. This will effectively reduce the spacing between the X rods. It'll reduce the spacing between the Z rods, which Prusa says actually improves accuracy in some small way, but I'm not sure I buy that. I will be replacing the electronics with an SKR board. I will be replacing the heat bed with a Mark 52 with a flex steel sheet. And I think that's it.
Are you going to go 12 volts or 24 volt?
24.
Okay. Don't you have to change the nozzle and everything else? Is it all 12 volt or no?
The nozzle, you need to change the thermistor. No, I'm sorry, you need to change the heat block. No, the heater, not the heat block.
Yeah, but don't you have to change the block too?
I don't believe so.
Also, it's under the extension that if you change the heater cartridge, you have to change actually the block too.
Well, unless the hard cartridge is of a different diameter or something.
Well, I know someone will say something here and correct me.
I mean, the block is just a chunk of metal. I mean, I can see where you might need to change the thermistor, but again, that's just a resistor, so that probably you can probably just code that in when you at build time when you build the firmware.
Yes,
but I'm sure someone will tell us.
Well, they were pretty quiet if they were going to tell us so. And how do you like having it as a direct drive? Do you find direct drive to be better?
Yes. All right. So here's the thing. The two things that the two upgrades that you can do to any printer of even the lowest quality, right? These are all ANET parts, everything here, except for the frame.
Yeah.
Now, merely adding the E3D V6 and this extruder assembly increased my print quality dramatically. what did I print off this? I printed a bunch of things.
Oh,
off
trust
of
me, I know putting an E3D hot end on your printer makes it a lot better. I've recently
Yeah.
gotten
Oh, yeah. I
CRP
mean,
working.
that makes sense just by virtue of better machining. But
Yeah.
I had no idea at the time that I did this about how well this particular extruder assembly improves the rigidity of the system overall. It's really compact and it's visually appealing, which is why I did it. But it is really substantially stiffer, so you don't get any jitter, anything. So let's see, what did I print using this? Yes. Walter. And what else did I print? This. I think I might have printed this, which is not perfect, but it's good enough. But yeah, Walter was one of the better prints.
You may want to adjust your camera because all we could see were just the top of the
print. Oh, that's not good.
There you go.
So Walter was, I think, the first thing I printed on this after I put this new extruder assembly on here. And for anybody with ANET things still around, AM8 builds or whatever, the modified extruder assembly along with my modifications are available in my Thingiverse. I don't have the number readily available, but if you look up Hill CT, you'll find my version of this extruder. My modification was primarily to get the 8mm barrel inductive sensor to fit.
If anybody wants to join in and you're on Discord and you're part of our Discord channel at CMP, remember the link is in the for insiders. If you are an insider, you can easily just click on the insider link, get the link right there, and jump in if you want to.
Yeah, wait, I'm running out of things to talk about here. So shortly we're going to watch me tear this thing down, and that's going to be boring. So someone come in here and talk about things.
Yeah.
So yes, it's moving to 24 volt. My understanding is I don't need to replace the motors with 24 volt motors because they're just motors, and the voltage is controlled by the stepper drivers anyway. I do have a replacement thermistor. No, I'm sorry. I have a replacement. I do have a replacement thermistor actually, unintentional. But I have a replacement heater. I have replacement fans, 24 volt fans, and a 24 volt heat bed, and a power supply, obviously. I'm not sure if there's anything else I need to swap out at 24 volt.
Well, link is in the description of the channel, but if you are watching us live and you need that link right now, it's in the banner right there, discord.gg/73 small x2xf. Just go to Discord and just type that information in, and you should be able to get in our channel and join us.
So, Zimmy, remind me, the A6 is also a Cartesian printer, right? What were the differences in A6 and A8? Or Ron, do you recall the differences between the A6 and the A8?
Yeah, not off the top of my head. I know that I believe 3D Llama might know the difference because I know he has one, but
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
I think he does.
My
Oh, you're gonna head
inclination,
off, Zimmy?
my
Thanks for
inclination is
coming in.
you would be able to use this same extruder model with the A8 adjustments, because I think the A6 and the A8
Oh, it says better
X
layout,
bits are
actually.
the same. I think.
Yeah,
I'm not
Zimmy just says it was better layout,
better
stiffer.
layout. Oh, I get a better frame.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I want to pick up. Oh, sorry, guys. I want to pick up an ANET. Just get one, just so I can tear it apart. Just so I can talk about safety features and talk about what's not safe in it, why you should do a firmware update, how you do the firmware update, and then talk about making it a better, stronger printer. So, but I'm
Yeah.
looking for one right now that's like not going to cost me an arm and a leg.
Well, you need a stock one to start your
Exactly.
thing from. Well, I imagine you can get one for about $150 these days.
I'd like to find it for under 100 because I know that back in the day, Wiley found one for $50. And I was like, oh, that's so tempting. If I had the cash, I would have bought it right then and there. Would
Yeah.
have had him ship me one. And I would have paid for the shipping to Canada because it was just a phenomenal price. I mean, $50 and shipping would probably cost me another $30-$40.
I just realized that I only got halfway through my drawing out of my ABS.
Yeah, I think. Oh, here's a neat little tip. Do you have a scale by any chance?
Not readily available.
Okay, get yourself a little food scaler and then measure your spool before you even start printing with it and find out what the weight of the spool is. Write it down.
Right.
Then when you're ready to weigh it again, then you know how much the spool is, and then you can just subtract that off of it. Usually a spool's about depending on thickness, it could be 20 to 30 pounds more. Sorry, 30 to 40 grams
Pounds.
more. 0.3? I would 0.3 grams.
Grams. Okay, grams.
Yeah, because the kilo is kilo.
Yeah.
So I would take 0.3 off of that. And whatever the weight is, you can actually use the print and dry website. And they have all the times of how long it takes for it to dry and what temperature you should dry at.
Really?
Yes. Actually, I'll go there right now and I'll show this to you guys.
That's cool.
I talked about this when I talked about how I built my filament dryer, because my filament dryer is also built in such a way that if I want to active dry, all I have to do is drill a hole, put a pneumatic great, I can't speak now. Pneumatic filling you know what I'm talking about. Bowden tube setup on there. And
Oh,
then I
you're,
just
you're
bring it right
actually
out.
trying to build a true filament dryer that can be used to print from?
Yeah.
Cool.
When I'm ready to
How many
do
you used on
nylon.
this?
Well, my friend
Did you
got it from
complete
another
it, or
guy that
what
did it.
happened with it?
Pardon me?
Did you complete it, or?
Yeah, it's already on my printer. It's already on there. I have a video of it, so you guys can have a
cool.
look at it. What I did is I printed out the two pieces for it because I didn't realize that was what my friend was trying to do, was add this wheel to it, so to actually pull the filament, so you can actually run it as a so you can do active drying. Like you dry it for about an hour, and then you just run your filament through it, and then you just put it into your printer. That way, if you have wet filament and you want to print right away, you don't have to worry about drying out your filament that much.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can find and what's interesting about it is when he showed it to me, he said, and I can convert it back to a food dehydrator if I ever want it as a food dehydrator.
How's
I went,
that?
you know what? That's not a bad idea.
How did that work exactly?
Used a cake. I used a cake tray on it. So you know those carrying cases that you have for cakes?
Sure.
Well, I basically turned it around and we drilled holes in the cake holder and had the air go through the cake holder into the whole area so it can heat up a couple rolls of filament.
As opposed to slicing up one of the
Yeah.
two of the food dehydrator trays.
Or 4 or 5 of them, yeah.
Yeah. What I really should have done is I should have gone to like Goodwill or something and bought one instead of buying one off Amazon. That was foolish of me.
Yeah, if you.
But when I want something, I want it now. It must show up.
Like if you look at my videos, it's like one of the first videos I printed. So
Really?
yeah, it's one of the first ones I've done. Sort by the oldest. So yeah, after I got back from the first Murph of 2018, when I first invented the channel, I had installing and using Octoprint. Then I did another video, my live stream, where I was talking about the CR10 and the idea of the Filament.ca master spool and just talking about it. Then I had a couple of live streams then. Mega Expo, Earth.
Did I just see that right? Does Chris Riley have a video about
A cheese printer, yes.
printing spray cheese?
There it is. How to build a filament dryer.
Ah.
So I used an old cake carrier and drilled holes into it, so the air goes through and dries inside, and then there's a little wheel inside that with inside there with a printed part, and allows your filament to roll to spin freely as you're drying it.
It was just coincidence that the cake carrier was the appropriate size for your food dehydrated.
Well, my friend figured it out after looking at a few things and found out, yay, that works.
Oh, that's cool.
So we went that way.
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Hey, Brian Vines made it! Yay!
So let's see. What is the appropriate temperature to dry out?
Yeah, Joe says he prints directly from his dryer for ASA and nylon. I haven't worked with ASA. You know what, though? I have a roll of ASA here.
Yeah, we lost you there. Your audio has.
What, my audio?
You went to go grab something and your audio conked out.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I have a roll of ASA right here. I haven't printed with it yet, but here it is.
All right, filament dryer temperatures. I think I grabbed these temperatures from Joe Mike Terranella.
So, question for everybody. ASA, has anybody printed with ASA? And
140.
Is there anything I should know about ASA before printing it? Like, is there any smell to it? Is it worse than ABS? That's what I want to know. Since Joe brings it up, I figured he's printed with ASA enough. Similar to the ABS, okay? But it's supposed to be UV resistant, right?
$40 for 2 hours.
So it has to be in an enclosure too. Okay. Well, when I build the enclosure, that's when I'll start using this stuff. But I got this for free, so what I like is still vacuum sealed, which is awesome.
All right. What time is it? Okay, Google. Set a timer for 2 hours. All right. So do we have any sort of consensus on the order of operations I should undertake in
Yeah, I'm just going to Print and Dry's own website. Here is Print Dry.
In disassembling this.
So here it is. This is the Print Dry system I was talking about for you. It's basically a film. It's basically, they call it a filament dryer, but it's basically a markup of a. It's basically a food dehydrator.
It is a food dehydrator. Is it in fact? It is in fact the exact same food dehydrator model that I have.
Ah. Yeah, so they also have the pumps, so you can pump out the air and seal them properly, so you don't have to worry about air getting into your containers.
Okay, that's vaguely cool.
Yeah. And they used to have a time lapse of how long you need to dry out your filament for. Yeah, they have a timer that you can set up your timer so you can, for how long you want to dry. Yeah. You can buy the additional chambers, which is nice. So you can actually put that on your dryer if you want to.
Yeah, I think the next thing I need to do is build myself a little Lazy Susan with some bearings so that I can print right out of the dryer.
FAQ, here it is. So it talks about like, where's the time and maps? They used to have that in here. Dryer. They got rid of their chart. It looks like they got rid of the chart. That sucks. Because Printry used to have a chart on their website. The science behind it. That's the science behind it.
Okay. I guess the right way to do this is to just disconnect the electronics.
Okay, that is something weird.
What?
They say nylon and PLA are hyperscopic, according to this.
I'm sorry, say that again?
They're saying nylon and PLA are hyperscopic.
Hyperscopic or hygroscopic?
Hydroscopic.
Well, nylon certainly is.
Yeah.
But PLA, Although I do have some PLA that just cracked on me because I haven't been keeping it dry.
Yeah, they're saying ABS needs drying. PC they say needs drying.
Yeah.
PET and PETG they're saying both needs drying, but I've had PLA left out for weeks on end and not had it go as hyperscopic as freaking nylon does.
Oh no, nylon is the most hygroscopic from what I understand.
Yeah, I was told that PLA not so much, that you got to worry too much about it.
Yeah, I have had PLA go on me though. Eventually, I mean after like 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, they're not telling. They don't. Yeah, they removed their information on how long you need to dry, but I think I still have that in a video, so I'll pull it up. But yeah, I don't have their links are bad. This is interesting. I guess they recently changed their website since people are buying food dehydrators and they don't want you to know how long you need to dry your stuff.
Well, not unless you buy their product.
Not unless you buy their product now.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I know all filament does is absorb moisture.
Yeah.
But I know, like, when I've printed with, when my friend prints with nylon, he's like, he active dries it before he prints with it because he's like, it just absorbs water like no tomorrow.
Yeah, from what I can tell you, that's the one of the main cases for if we're printing from a dryer.
Yeah, and he prints directly from a dryer. He's like, I don't take any chance with nylon.
Yeah, nylon is very much.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
that way.
it's like a sip drinks water like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad they're now just selling the boxes alone because now I can just buy the filament box and just put it on top of my the dryer.
Oh, they do sell the boxes alone. That's cool.
Well, they do. They sell just the pots, so you can just put the pots on top of your printer, on top of the filament dryer. If it will fit my filament dryer, I'm more likely to go this way. But for a long time they weren't selling the top and bottom for the dryer.
Yeah, that's cool. How much are they charging for the whole system now? I didn't see when you pulled it
It's
up.
like $160 I saw it for.
Okay, so the rose wheel dryer that I bought, which is exactly the same dimensions, exactly the same appearance, exactly the same controls as theirs, $35.
Yeah.
So how much would I have to pay for one of their tops?
Well, one of the tops they for an additional chamber they charge $38.
That's
So not selling the bottom chamber, they're just selling the every additional level you want to go up.
whoa. Okay, but what's the nature of a bottom
Good morning,
chamber?
D.
What's a
Well,
bottom chamber in this context?
it looks like the bottom. Well, it could be the same actually. Now that I'm looking at it, let me
It would have to be the same, wouldn't it, if they stack?
additional chamber with metal tray and top feeder, $38. So
Feeder?
it looks like the bottom chamber though. So I'm thinking it's probably the same as the top.
Yeah.
So I'll probably sit on there. I mean, I paid
Yeah.
$29 for mine, and it looks exactly the same.
Okay, that is power. Power can get unscrewed. And this can get unclipped.
Do they have this on the Matter Hacker site? Okay, let me go to Matter Hacker and see if they got the print dry there.
Like I said, the numbers I got were at the bottom of Joe Mike Terranella's video, which I imagine he got them from
Probably from Matter Hacker.
sites.
Yeah. There it is. Recommended drawing time for PLA: 45 Celsius, 113 Fahrenheit for 4 hours. PET G, 65 Celsius for more than 2 hours. So around 2 hours is what you want to dry it for. So I'll pop this up on screen here. So right there it says 4 hours. Nylon, they recommend 12 hours. Desiccant, 65 degrees for 3 hours. They recommend.
Yeah, I think the numbers I got from Joe Mike Channel must have come right from there anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so extruder is disconnected. And
there you guys go. So they're saying that your ambient temperature in your house should be about 20 degrees or 65 Fahrenheit is what they're saying for these temperature drawings. So
yeah,
and now 500 which is 500 grams of for filament spool is what they're saying. So
they expect you to re-dry it half a spool. That sort of makes sense.
yeah, but it's saying like times can vary. Do whichever thing you're printing. But
Yeah.
if you guys want to copy this, I would recommend just copying this and storing it store it on your computer. Just go copy image and just save it to your hard drive at least, and that way you have it. Let me go save image as. Yeah, go save it there. So it's good to have it just in case you need it. So D, it's good to see you back on. Thanks for coming in. I do appreciate it. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming Viking. I'll probably be calling it within the next 5, 10, maybe 20 minutes. I mean, if you think you're going to be able to get on, I'd say, God, come on in. Yeah, I paid like something like $30 for mine, but like I said, I'm paying Canadian bills. So, our Canadian rupee is pretty weak to the American dollar. So, the one I wanted to get was about $70, but I thought it mattered because I wanted the one with the digital readout so I could see what temperature it was heating at rather than judging it by a dial. But when my friend said it really doesn't matter, he's been using this one for a little while. I said, okay, I'll buy the same one. I think mine's called Start. I think it's a Start on there or Start. Yeah, Canadian Roofies. Yes. I'm using the joke from what's her face from Linus Tech Tips because he's also in Canada, so he goes Canadian rupees or.
Is that what happened? You thought you bought something and then you got home and you didn't buy it, or you thought you didn't buy it and you get home and oh my God, look what you spent?
Huh?
Canadian roofies.
Oh no, I was joking around saying rupees.
Yes.
The Canadian roofies?
Yes. So much for expanding that joke.
Yeah, it fell flat.
Yes.
And we can see what is Colin. We can see what Colin is doing right there. We can see that big, large light.
Colin is removing the Z-axis tops.
I know Colin was making a roofie joke. I just didn't want to get involved in it.
We don't want to make roofie jokes about Canadian roofies?
Nah.
Okay.
It's really polite and nice, LOL.
Yes, how very Canadian are you?
Well, no, it was he says you may not remember, but I'll just throw it up on here. Oops. There you go. As EduTech was saying, you may not remember, but it was very nice, but it was very polite and nice. And look who came in near the end of it all. Derek was in the house.
That's an even worse roofie joke than I was going to tell.
Derek is across the pond, Derek. Hey, Derek, if you want in, like I said, link is in the description. Link is to our Discord. It's in the description. You can go there. And I believe you're already on our Discord. If not, jump in there right now. Let me know, and I will add you to the Insider so you can join us and be on stream. Ah, you're working again? Ah. Derek, you see if there's a way that you can make just Wednesdays your day off, so you can join us. So yeah, I got one more roll of these to be done, and then I'll have 24 coins ready for the Hamilton Maker Fair, which I'll be going to next couple weeks. Next week, not this weekend. I think it's next weekend if I remember correctly, and I will have video for you guys for that. But I am missing my SD card, which got me a little worried for video. All the camera footage is on the SD card. That worries me a little bit. My SD card is a little bit of a problem, but I'll find it. The worst comes to worst, I'll just pull it out of one of my. I got some micro SD 32 gig cards. I can just rip. I can just borrow one of those. Of course, he's not going to say anything about yours. It's all about him. You should know that by now.
What are we talking about?
Derek was a little saying that, Joe put a video about his Tenno sword and said nothing about his that he made. I said, of course that, because he's promoting his channel. He's promoting himself. He's not promoting others.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's just... Yes, where I'm willing to promote because, well, I don't have that much content right now. Yeah, he didn't say anything about Carl's either. That's true. Carl was the first one to get it done. But then again, Carl has the White Knight, and that White Knight does not take no for an answer. Colin, wouldn't it have been better just to power out the printer and just have it, do the Z all the way up? And then you wouldn't be...
Had I thought about it, yes. But I had already removed the Z top at the point where I had thought about that, so this is not a huge problem.
Yeah, you just got to keep on turning those wheels.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Edutech says the...
What is my problem here? I'm still connected to something.
So are you going to print one then, Edutech? You're going to print yourself a Tenno sword?
Oh.
And everything falls to the ground.
No, the issue is that I should have taken apart the extruder a little bit. Because the extruder, of course, it's the Prusa extruder. It's got that big plastic chunk on the back.
Yep.
That was interfering with the...
getting it off?
Yeah. It was hitting the crossbar. Okay. I should do this in a way that is somewhat more orderly.
Yeah, so even though, like Joe Telling would say, good job and everything else, he's more concentrated on his own viewers to like what he does specifically. So I get that, completely.
Oh, are we griping because Joe... What?
Because, well...
All right, let me read here.
Yeah. So start off where Derek says about the sword, and, you get the idea. Yeah, Joel doesn't have time for us little fishes. That is,
Yeah, you got to admire the speed with which he grew his channel, though.
yeah. Yeah, I know. Like my channel is small. Like I'm not even Joe telling big. Like I mean, my channel's what 290. We haven't got past 300 at least. Yeah, I'm sitting at 297. I think it was.
I need to box my old components here.
Yeah, we're sitting at 297. I haven't hit 300 yet. So I mean, I hit 300. That's pretty pathetic when you think about it. Not even close to hitting 300. Like, what the hey? Yeah, his answers to us. Yeah, exactly. I mean, hell, I mean, the printing professor, he gave me he gave my videos thumbs up. So, talked about my channel. I was like really grateful for him to do that. I mean, he didn't have to, but he did. And I saw a boost up, and then I saw my subscribers go right down again. But,
All right. Right. Next. Is this the right? No, it's not.
oops. My stupid machine just turned on. Give me a moment, guys. Display settings. Show me what's on display number 2. Keep changes.
Damn it. I hate when I misplace tools.
You plug me? You plug me in the wall? Oh, you mean plug my channel? Yeah, I know. I gotta come on your show and I'll have you plug my channel. Yeah. Yeah, he seems to desperately want me on, doesn't he, Mr. Buttram?
Huh?
Edgertext telling me to come on come on his show.
Yeah.
He's been bugging me for the last 2 days. Like he bugged me last week, and every time I do a stream, it's like bugging me. It's like,
Well, nerds with a gift of gab are hard to come by.
I love that line. So if Alien Josh and Ron were on the show, there could be plugging and probing. Ha 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 ha. So, do you think you'll get your printer set up before Earth?
Oh, easily.
I know what you're doing. I know, Jim. I'm just being a,
Wait, was that a question from somebody in particular or from you?
What about your printer?
Whether I'm going to get it done before Earth.
Well, I just asked because I wanted to know if it was a simple changeover or if you're going to run into
It's
problems.
a relatively simple changeover. I mean, the electronics are going to be interesting. I'm going to need to rebuild the firmware, and I'm going to. Oh, that's the other thing I'm doing. I'm going to sensorless end stops.
I hope it works.
So do I, because then otherwise I'm going to have to go print some new things that can support end stop brackets somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, why would it not work?
Well, in case you do something wrong, and then it sends the printer, because it's all now in because you're going to be using the 2.0 version, correct? Of Marlin?
Yes, 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Marlin 2.0.
Do you know anything how to program in Marlin 2.0 or no?
Well, I mean, it's a config file just like any other. I'll probably refer to Chris Riley's video on it and then read the documentation.
Ah.
I have confidence. I mean, I'm relatively capable in that regard.
Okay. Okay, everybody, place down your bets now. When do you think Colin's going to run into problems working on the board? First day, second day, third day, or just going to call Chris Riley to do it?
I am actually going to call Chris Riley on one thing or I'm going to check with him on how he went about aligning the test points for his Mark 52 bed as it relates to Marlin 2.0. I think he just did it visually, but I got to check with him to see exactly if there was some better methodology.
Minnesota Maker's saying it's going to be 20. It's going to be your 22nd day that you're going to break down and call Chris Riley. I think
it's going to be what?
I think Minnesota Maker's saying 22nd day.
Well, here's item number 1.
And Jake's going, he's smart. Jake is saying, I'm smart, not dumb, like everyone else, like everyone said.
Check this out. My thermistor wire has failed me. It's not cool. But it's just the plug that failed me. My poorly crimped mechanism and my, what do you call them, pins.
What happened? It broke?
My poorly crimped pins have fallen out of the plug. There we go. Okay, it's back. So once again alive. Okay. Right, what's next? Next. I guess the Z motor mounts. I'm going to have
a regular Monday show, Brian Vines. He wants people to come on and show off their tech, show off what they do.
Well, once I have this built, I will do that. What is the next step here? Yes.
Edger Tech said something to you, Colin. He says, nice, Colin. Let me know.
What's that?
He says, thanks. Let me know. Jim at Edger Tech.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope to be able to do this and then do the mechanical build by
Next Wednesday?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be pretty close to finished or completely finished with the mechanical build by next Wednesday, and I'll be starting on the electronics. All right, so next step is why do I have Phillips screws holding this in? What kind of a lame print design uses Phillips screws? What the hell was I thinking?
Hey, at least they didn't use Robert. Oh, sorry. At least they didn't use Robertson screws, which you guys would have
Are
no
those the
idea what
square ones?
Robertson.
Remind me which are the Robertson screws?
Robertson screws use have a square head on the screwdriver.
Ah, yes. They seem to be very popular in Canada. I had never seen them before I was in Canada.
The Robertson screw actually comes from Canada. It was actually designed by somebody who used to do light work and thought Allen keys were a little bit too much because, like, then you have to fight with Allen keys and you can't get them into electrical sockets to screw in the new sockets. So he came up with the Robertson screw that sit flatly on a square head, so you can easily put in what, so you can easily like wire upside down, so you can easily get the and wire everything together. It caught on in Canada, but it didn't catch in the States because then they came up with the Phillips screwdriver, which they thought was better. Honestly, I hate the Phillips screwdriver. All of
It
them.
works.
Well, the square tip, it just doesn't balance. You can't put a screw on it and just screw it in. It's like, yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah. All right. I need to go find my screwdriver. Do I have one here? I think I do. All right. They're back. Hey, it's a Canadian tchotchke.
Nortel Networks, yes.
Yes.
Back in the day when Nortel was actually a company.
Yeah, my laptop bag is also a Nortel Networks bag.
Cool. I almost ended up working for them before they went under.
Just before they went under?
Just before they went under, yep.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I got a job application. I had an interview, and about 5 days later, they said they were closing up the company.
You
I was like, wow.
weren't kidding. Just before they went under. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, really? Uses square head screws. Interesting.
What's interesting is there are no Robertson screwdrivers in the set.
Oh, so they did catch on in the U.S. Okay, because I do see them in deck screws. That is true, but I wasn't sure if they were caught on in the States or not. Watching a video that said it wasn't really that popular in the States and that they didn't really say if it's still being used to this day or not, but they said in Canada,
Well, I've seen them used relatively a couple of years ago. I saw someone using them, but I think it was because they were too lazy to go get something else.
Mm-hmm. They put away a resignation letter. Oh, Brian Vines.
I actually got laid off from Nortel sometime before your job interview, and Did I tell you this story before?
I don't think so.
I had a series of like 6 managers in 8 months. And this was like 2004, I guess, 2003, 2004. And no, it was 2002, actually. And, you work with someone for a while and you get to know them a little bit. Well, these guys, they'd come and go and you'd never have any idea what they're about. Well, the last guy turned out to be a very nice guy. He said, "Well, we'll probably line everybody off, and I can't tell you when that's going to happen, but I will tell you when to take all of your vacation."
Yeah, at least it was telling you when to take vacation.
Yeah. Take
No.
all your vacation and all of your, available sick time and everything else. And so that's what people did. I took all my vacation. I came back, and all the cubicles around me were empty. There was the message light on my phone was flashing with one message. Said, "Here, Colin, it's nice to have you back in the office. Come by this conference room that I'd never had a meeting in before, and meet with these people, blah, 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 names who I'd never heard of before." You remember the movie Office Space?
Yep.
The Bobs?
Yep.
Well, we had our Bobs. And they were the consultants that laid people off. And so there was a haiku that made the rounds in the telephony trade rags. "Roses are red, folders are blue. There's no I in team, and now there's no you." The HR folders that they carried around at Nortel were all blue. So I was there and I saw my blue folder and said, "Oh, okay, cool." And so that was that.
Yeah, basically, I met the HR person, and basically, I had the interview and everything else, and she said, "We'll be in contact with you within a few days because I really do think you're what we're looking for, and yeah, we're interested in you." I'm like, "Great, that's great to hear."
What role was it you were interviewing for?
Network administrator for some type of project that they were doing. I forget what the project was, but it was going to be the network administrator. One of the 3 network administrators. I was like looking forward to it as a junior and everything else. So, I'll be helping out network administrators getting everything set up, but I'll be under junior for the time being and getting my chops grown.
That's cool.
And then all of a sudden I watching TV 3 days later and boom, they got under. Nortel's closing up shop. I'm like going, I just had an interview with them like 3 days ago. Wow.
No, they really were very hush hush about the whole thing.
Yeah,
they handled it very poorly.
they did. And this was a job where I was going to be I would basically be traveling between their office out in Brampton and their central head in basically traveling back and forth between the two vicinities. Traveling all the way out to Ottawa, spend a few days and spend about a month in Ottawa, fly back to Toronto and spend a couple days at the spend a month at the Brampton location, then fly back to Ottawa for a month, fly back to Toronto. It was and it was going to be for about 3 months while they're getting everything set up. And then I'd be stationed in Ottawa for 6 months. And then I would spend another 6 months back in Ontario. I was like going, wow, this is going to be a one hell of a crazy job.
Well, that's the thing. That's the kind of job that they hire really young guys for, because no one who had been around for a while really found travel, finds traveling for work all that exciting when you get older.
Yep.
So yeah, they'll hire the really young guys. You get to travel. Great.
Well, no, the girl's like, I think you're well enough. I think it's great. You know, do you like traveling? I said, I don't mind traveling. I've been, around. She's like, have you
Yeah,
ever been to Ottawa? I'm like, no, but I can get around, I guess. I don't see there being a problem with that. She's like, great, because we'll be setting you up in a hotel for the next couple of weeks. You'll be traveling back and forth. I'm like, okay. And then once everything's settled up, you'll probably be stationed in over there for 6 months out of the year. I'm like, and what about the other 6 months? Oh, you'll be flown. We pay for your flights back and forth. I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess it sounds great. She's like, yep, we pay for your hotel room for a little while, and then we'll look at getting you a place to stay.
that's
I'm
the
like,
one thing that Nortel did
okay,
really well was managing the moves for their employees.
yeah. She's like, yeah, you'll basically get one of our furnished houses for for you to live in, like a house. Because I kind of questioned it. She goes, yeah, they're basically condos, but they're huge condos. And I've seen one of them. I was like really surprised at how much square footage I had. I was like, wow, this is huge.
Yeah, corporate housing is quite nice sometimes.
Yeah. And she's like, you'll be living with one other person that's part of your crew. I'm like, okay, so same time, same everything. She's like, yeah, we'll make sure that your guys are working the same day, same time, same everything. Well, that makes it a lot easier. Yep. I would have Saturday, Sundays off, and the every so often, every third Friday, they said I would have off. So I was like, oh, bonus.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, it was a really interesting job that they had me going, because the reason I was flying back and forth was setting up a network to communicate between the two cities, and then they were going to and it was a brand new project that they were working on.
Well,
But
they
yeah,
were starting new projects the day before they shut down.
well, I think it was a project that they got the funding for, but
Nobody told them not to waste their time.
I
Wow.
guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like I turn on the news like 3 days later, find out hotels got under. Like going, oh, there goes that job. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, at one point, I
Yeah, I
was
know the F
offered.
word that slipped out. Sorry, guys, your virgin ears. Hey, Michael Castell, how you doing? Thanks for coming on. But yeah, I had some very more curse words for that when I heard about it on TV. I was like, what the,
Hmm, what I
Yeah.
needed
I
that
remember my mom
long.
and dad looking at me weirdly. I'm like, I had an interview with Nortel. They went, you didn't tell us about that. Yeah, because I didn't want to jinx it. She's like,
Well, you
was that
you
work?
didn't need to worry about that.
Yeah. No, basically I was at work. I filed they were in our building, and they were looking for new recruits, and I got interviewed out of the first batch of 5. And they said that they would be in touch with us. And there was only, and the other 4 that they interviewed, everybody went, I didn't get that offer. They said they wanted to meet you. I'm like, apparently, yeah. I gotta check my printer. It just went beeping again. Ah. Filament change, round number 3.
The AM8 Bear reinforced. I guess it's called the AM8 reinforced set is quite amazing. Each of these motor mounts have 6 bolts holding them into the extrusion. It's kind of crazy. Four on the inside and these two on the outside. Kinda nuts. What's next here? Power supply, I guess. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn it. Oh. Hmm.
There, Edge Attack. Who you mean me, Mike? You mean me, Michael? I'm doing a filament pool. So basically, I'm doing. I got some red filament in my nozzle. I'm just going to do a couple of pulls, and then I'll run my filament. A little bit of filament cleaner in there, and I'll just purge the nozzle, and I'll be able to print again. So I'm just changing from red to white. That's what you're asking. Take it.
Okay, so this is my good 12-volt supply. You probably can't see this, but let's see if I can make this useful. This is my technique for not losing hammer nuts. I've got these L brackets on here, and hammer nuts will slide sort of down halfway behind them. So jam up the space with a zip tie, and when I undo this, hammer nut will slide down, but I'll still be able to yank it right out. Very handy.
Oh. Okay, I'm back.
Right.
Yeah, I had to purge this stupid nozzle. So
All right. Next. What's next? I don't know what's next.
said he was leaving around 12:30, so it's already be when you said that to him, Brian Vines, you were about 2 minutes behind, so don't feel too bad. I was basically in the back cleaning out a nozzle purge. Right, Mac, there's no do-overs in live streaming. But we should call it an end anyways, because after 12. I said I was going to kill this stream at 12 o'clock.
Yeah. And I have things I need to do to prepare for a conference call later this afternoon.
Yeah, so we'll call it that for the night. So I want to thank everyone for coming in this morning and sticking around till the afternoon. If you guys have anything to add before we disconnect, I'm going to throw it over. Colin, do you have anything to tell anybody?
Not really. At some point, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the assembly here or on my channel. If you want to see that, subscribe to Hill CT on YouTube. I might do some of it here. I'm not sure yet, but I'll probably do some of the intervening stuff on my channel, and then do another chunk of it next Wednesday here. But thanks for hanging out, and we will catch you guys next time.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll have another video coming out soon, hopefully, but no guarantees because I'm still, like I said, still getting those printers tuned. So thanks everybody for watching and have yourselves a great day. Bye now.